Welcome again, everyone, to Jerry's Old Guy Review. And today we're talking about tow rigs. So this is for Stage Cannon Seattle, who had sent me an email, and he wanted to know how or what he could do to make a tow rig without buying a whole new rig, if he could get away with it. He wanted something that could tow another vehicle to the trail or to the obstacle where he was going to go drive, unload the other vehicle, drop the trailer, and then use the tow rig to also be able to crawl. Well, there's the Holy Grail. So, I just realized I screwed up. So both of these trucks are leaf sprung, which would be the easiest way to make a tow rig. In the back, add some more leaves. Okay, but meanwhile, we already know that leaf sprung vehicles, and this one in particular that's independent front and leaf sprung in the rear, is not a good crawling vehicle. This is purely a trail rig, but you can do a little bit of playing, not much, but as I've stated in the video, for those of you that don't know, it's the RC four-wheel drive Desert Runner, but it's actually made by a company called JD Models, and you can still get this vehicle through them in 4 different colors, because these come molded. This was the black one when it first came out. But this just has locking diffs. That's it. This truck with the diffs locked is an excellent tow rig. Not much of anything else. That's why I've kept it purely in its stock form with its stock wheels and tires, because I have a trailer hitch on it because it comes with the receiver. But, there we go. I'm pushing down on it. That is a pretty good size load you could put on it with very little sag. But I could add an extra leaf or two to it, because unlike RC four-wheel drives, Tamayas, everything with leaf springs, you don't have to run the bolts through the center of them. This one actually has little U-bolts, like a real suspension would. Trail Finder 2. These generally come with extra springs that people just huck them out the window because they want that smooth articulation. Well, boom, you got a buddy with some RC four-wheel drives, you've got an RC four-wheel drive vehicle or something with leaf springs, make a deal. But let's get back on topic. So, for leaf spring vehicles, that is the option. Add more leaves. The rear end's going to be stiffer. It's going to be harder. So it's not going to be as capable. But meanwhile, if you're just taking your leaf sprung Trail Finder 2 out, which is a pretty fun vehicle, and the fact that it is scaled to a real vehicle, you can get that real driving experience, stiffening up the back of that. Especially this SUV. Ooh, pardon me. You've got extra weight back here. Maybe a few extra springs won't make a difference. RC four-wheel drive shocks are generally not full of oil, but a lot of them you can put oil in. There's your second option. But let's get somebody off the shelf. Do you have your hooks on? No, you don't. Good. Let's take this fella and let's move things around so I don't knock my sweet display off here. So if you wanted to use, say, a Traxxas TRX4, well, you wouldn't use this one because it's jacked up. But meanwhile, you're really limited to your options because now you just have shocks. But here's my two go-tos. If you do any kind of modifications to any kind of vehicle, do you keep everything? Do you trade it? Do you throw it in a box and forget about it? Well, here's an easy solution. This is what I do. Because some of the vehicles I've actually used for trailering, like the SCX-10-3 Gladiator, I put beefier shock oil in it because I made it a lot heavier. Now you could take this TRX-4, I think it only has like 30 weight or something that comes in these, but once again, as you can see from me pushing on it, I like to put some thicker shock oil in, just so if they leak, you know, if the body becomes heavy, I later add something to it, I'm ready to go. And there's my go-to. I have a whole line of Traxxas oil. This is 60 weight. I think I have 40 weight, 50 weight, but 60 weight. And then I also have some Team Associated 70 weight. So the quickest way to see if you can get, you know, better towing where the vehicle's not sitting like this all the time, try the shock oil. If the shock oil doesn't work, or if you don't want to go through that hassle and you have a bunch of extra springs laying around, these are off of an Axial. I don't remember if it was the 1 or the 2. And they're different kinds of shocks. So I had the long ones. I had some normal size. Now these are neat because these are the infamous 2-stage. So you've got 2 different weight springs with a centerpiece that goes in there to keep them together. Boom. That may be all you need to take one of your vehicles to turn it into a tow rig. Take one bolt off, throw some new springs on, and see how that works. Because I'm going to tell you, so this actually has a receiver on it that I don't tow with this one because, oh my God. It is, well, let me get it back on. This is way too tall. I would have to have one hell of a drop. Actually, I've got a drop laying around here somewhere. But not my preferred tow rig. But now, the Gen 8, that could be a tow rig. Hell, the UMG 6x6 could be a tow rig. That one actually, I did a little joke last year, I think it was, where I put the old big 5th wheel gooseneck trailer on it. And it bottomed it right out. But here we go, here's another one. But getting off on a tangent, everything could be a tow rig. You just have to get inventive, because once you figure out the load on it that you want, depending your trailer, Stage Cannon was talking about like a 5 to 9 pound load. Well, if we go with what I normally run, the Desert Runner, and actually I have the ball off it right now, but this is the trailer I run it on. This is 9 pounds. But with it sitting right on the tongue, let me get back here. I weighed the trailer with the load on it. This is 9 pounds. Ooh. Here's the secret. Just like with a real trailer, you want to keep the tongue weight down. So you position the weight of the load right above the axles. So now you notice 9 pound trailer with a load doesn't make the truck sag at all. So there's another secret. Balance your back load. And basically now, well, that's the trouble. Stage Cannon was talking about towing a rig, which you might want to, you nose it on so all the weight's in the back. Keep the center of the truck mainly over the wheels, even if it hangs over a little bit. Even if you roll it up to the end. You should have good balance. But there's another thing. This way you could use an existing vehicle you have without buying a brand new one. And you don't necessarily have to buy a bunch of new things. You might have it sitting on the shelf. And if you don't have a 3 to 4 pack of shock oils or dip oils laying around, you need to just go out and get one. Go to your local hobby shop. He's going to have it sitting there. It never hurts to have some juice laying around. Actually, what do I got over there? Oh, I've got more. So I have Team Associated, Traxxas, and I've got a 4-pack of Team Loshi shock oils. So once again, that's what does that might cost you, $20? And you can test and tune. But once again here, this is easy to take an existing vehicle you have and then just make it a tow rig. And this with leaf springs is kind of stiff already, but this truck needs to be soaked in oil. But meanwhile, even a vehicle that, say, I wish I had another, oh, yeah, okay. One more real quick. The receiver's not on that either. Wait a minute. Okay, this will be... All right, so we got 60 weight. This trailer is in no way, shape, or form set up for this weird setup. But let's just throw that in real quick. And then this is a balanced load, but still, if it was more, if it dropped down more, you would see that it would actually, but even then, there you go. Let's look at it. Ready? That's a good amount of sag, but still not horrible. The truck still has some more to go. So try some shock oil. Try some springs. Try to level your load so that you don't go right out and spend a ton of money. So that is it for trailer vehicles. Now that I've played with everything, now I'm going to have to go outside and play some more. So there you go, Stage Cannon. Hope that is helpful, and I hope to hear from you again. As always, like and subscribe. Throw some questions in the bottom if you want to. If you've got some questions about tow rigs, you've got some ideas, let me know. Until the next one.